5 brand new skins in Clash of Clans, as well as the new Frost Age scenery and a ton of events. This December is going to be packed in Clash of Clans, so let's go ahead and break down the events as well as review the cosmetics for you. Let's start with the season calendar and the new events first. As you guys can see, on December 1st, we're obviously going to have Clan War Leagues, but we're also going to have the brand new Clashmas obstacle spawning. This is what the obstacle looks like in game. It's got a pretty cool design with some blue lights, and then when you select it, it actually has some sparkle animations as well. When you remove it, it's got a bit of a red flare effect, which is pretty cool. On December 8th, there is going to be a medal event, and what I can tell you about this medal event is that we're going to have a brand new equipment for the Royal Champion. On December 12th, we're going to get the Clan Rush event, and these are some of my favorite events, so I am personally very excited for it. On December 22nd, we're going to get clan games as usual. On December 25th, we're going to get a Clashmas gift, and right now there's a book of everything on there. I don't know for sure what it's going to be, but fingers crossed, something like that would be really nice. And finally, on December 29th, we're going to have a task event, and guys, I actually have zero idea what this is at all, so yeah, so a pretty cool calendar all the way around. But I think the more exciting thing is the cosmetics, and guys, let's go ahead and start with the scenery. By the way, I'm going to be replacing the music that you're listening to now with the scenery music itself, so you can kind of have an idea of what it sounds like. First, the general idea is really important. Last month, Town Hall 17 got hit with a meteor and the whole base got destroyed. After that, we had the Wasteland scenery, which basically happened as a result of the meteor strike. And this season, we have progressed into an Ice Age Frozen Wasteland theme right after the meteor strike. And this scenery has many details that actually reflect that. Now, when it comes to the details, first off, it's an extra large scenery, which is important to note. The base itself is covered by snow and ice with these blue and light blue tiles. There are 4 statues in the corners of the base, but the statue at the bottom of the base is missing. We'll get to that later. Around the base, there's a parallax effect with snow falling all the time, and at the top right and the top left of the base, there are specific entrances into a blue area that is unknown at this time. Alright, pretty standard stuff for a scenery so far, but what makes this scenery a bit unique is the callbacks that it has to the Wasteland scenery. Remember the 2 meteors at the top of the propellers for the Wasteland scenery? It looks like the entrance to this base actually has those 2 meteors on top of the pillars, and in fact, I'm almost 100% sure of this. You can also see the remains of one of those propellers in the bottom left hand side, and I'm pretty sure the wreckage parts of the other propeller on the top right side of the base. This is leading me to think that something happened to that contraption that we were flying around on in the Wasteland scenery, and this is resulting in the scenario we have in this scenery now. Around the base, you can also see these parts that are giving off some smoke, and these could be scavenged parts from the Wasteland scenery wreckage. So in a way, this is really interesting, not only because of the continuity between the sceneries, but also it just opens up a lot of questions as to where we're going next. There's also some standard scenery secrets, like these goblins that are making snow angels, and these barbarians that are throwing snowballs at this wizard who's just shooting the snowballs apart. But it's pretty cool how we have lore when it comes to these sceneries, and it's cool for me as well, because as a super creator, I actually don't know where this lore is going, so I'm also very excited. But guys, I have saved the best part of this scenery for last. Honestly, I didn't even realize this until I was recording this video. I'm going to ask Seth about this just to make sure, but I'm pretty sure that this is the first time that we have a scenery with custom music for different parts of the game. For example, we obviously have the custom music that you guys are hearing right now, and that is the background of the scenery when you're in the home village. But when you go to plan your attack versus a defender, there's actually different music that is playing, and that is custom to when you're attacking this scenery. And then the actual battle itself, the 3 minutes of battle, there's actually a different battle track that is going with this scenery as well. There's also custom winning and losing sound effects as well. When you lose a battle against this base, this is the sound that will play instead of the normal one. And when you win a battle against this base, this is the sound that will play instead of the normal one. I think these are insane details and something that I hope they'll continue to have in the future sceneries as well. In an effort to show you guys all of these tracks, I'm going to be using them in the background of different parts of this video, and I'll ask my editor to label them when they come on. By the way, this scenery will be available for purchase on December 3rd. Now, do you guys remember that there was a statue missing at the bottom side of the base? Well, if we look closely, there are footsteps there, so that makes us think that something was there. My prediction is that this statue was the Awakened King legendary skin, and this makes me really excited because this skin is really good. As you guys can see, the hero hall animation is pretty insane, and he has a constantly animated sword as well as smoke around his eyes. He has a lot of animation when he walks around in the base, his sword is animated, and he also has these icy footsteps. When you click on him, he has this roar and icy aura effect, which is really cool. During his attack, it almost looks like he's coming out of an ice orb with a placement animation. He has custom attack animations that look like an ice shard splitting apart. He also has a custom knockout animation that looks like he's reaching for something afterward. I know you guys can't hear it, but there is a custom attack animation sound effect. It does sound a lot like a normal slash though, in my opinion. Now, I still think the Berserker King is better, but this skin is actually really insane. It's going to be out on December 5th for anybody that's interested. Next up, we have the Blizzard Queen, and you guys can see the hero hall animation in the background right now. This queen skin is literally insane. In the home village, she does have the same icy steps as well as a snowflake that appears in front of her bow. When you click on her, she materializes this snowflake in her hand, throws it up into the air, and actually shoots an arrow at it. She has the same placement animation as the king, but one thing you'll notice is that she has custom arrows, and every time an arrow hits, a small snowflake appears. The funny thing about this arrow is that I think this arrow is better than the frozen arrow from the actual frozen arrow equipment, and I thought that was pretty comical. When she gets knocked out, she's just kind of clutching at her heart in this animation with some snowflakes that are passing by like a blizzard. Unfortunately, I actually don't have the sound effects for this skin in the dev build, but I'm assuming there will be one when the skin actually comes out. Regardless, this skin is really awesome, and it has a lot of those things that you would want in a skin. It will be available for purchase on December 7th in the Supercell store. Next up, we have the Frost Prince, which is a legendary skin, and as you guys can see, this hero hall animation in the background is pretty crazy, and it picks up these three little snowmen that are around him. These snowmen will actually stay with him as he's traveling around the base, and they're actually pretty consistently dropping snowflakes. When you click on him, he actually plays fetch with one of these snowmen by throwing his staff, and that's pretty cool. He has another one of those ice orb placement animations, and he has a custom blue fireball for his attack animation, which is really cool, and it does have a custom sound effect. It's really cool to see how those three little snowmen are actually part of this skin, and they're going to be traveling with him during the attack. They don't do any additional damage or anything, it's just kind of a visual effect. And he easily has one of the best knockout animations because one of the snowmen will be trying to lift him up, the other one is kind of crying that he's down, and the third one is going to be holding his staff. This is one of the most complex knockout animations that I've seen. This skin might be one of the best in the set, and honestly, I personally think this set is really cooking. If you guys are looking to buy him, he is going to be available in the shop on December 9th. Next up, we have the Grand Warlock skin, and this is going to be the skin that is in the gold pass. It's kind of a bizarre hero hall animation. He's got his own owl, he's got a bunch of spectral stones that he's working with in a warlock type of way. When he walks in the home village, he kind of has these frost footsteps again, but he also has these stones that are hovering around him and the owl. When you select him, he actually looks to be doing some type of spell. There's lightning and snow around the stones, and then the owl is just flying around his head. He has a placement animation like the hero, but he also has a really cool attack animation with the three stones coming together, and after he attacks, there's actually a little bit of a image of the owl coming out of whatever building he's attacking. His knockout animation consists of him being hunched over and then getting up and grasping his head, and he's doing that consistently. Honestly, there's a lot of animations and character to this skin. Personally, it's not one of my favorite skins, but it does have the things it needs to be a good skin. Obviously, this will be available with the gold pass this season as mentioned previously. Now the final skin that we have is the Explorer Champion, and this is a really cool hero hall animation, and it starts off dark, but then she lights it up with her fiery torch. When she walks around, she has the icy footsteps as well, but her torch is always lighting the way and it's always on fire. When you click on her, she actually blows through the torch and there's a bunch of fire just like a dragon would. Her placement animation is a flame, so that's a little bit different, and she does have custom arrows that look like fiery shots, as well as a custom seeking shield that looks like a fireball. Her knockout animation is a little interesting. She kind of loses her torch, and because of that she starts shivering in the cold. This skin will be available for purchase on December 11th in the shop, and guys, to be 100% honest with you, I think this is one of the coolest cosmetic sets in the game. I don't think it's better than the cosmic set, but it's definitely a close second, especially when you consider the scenery and the crazy sound effects that you get with it. Of course, if you buy anything, please consider using code BD. I really appreciate it and it helps me out quite a lot. Now look, whether or not you buy the skins and the sceneries this season, what you will need this season is good ranked league bases, because that is the primary way that players are getting ores nowadays. Luckily for you, I've got a video right here where I break down the best ranked league bases for Town Hall 11 all the way up to Town Hall 18. They're absolutely free, so you can go ahead and use them.